East China Township Board for December 4th, 2023 to order. Please, clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Westrick?
Here.
Clerk Smith here. Treasurer Hart?
Here.
Trustee Babel?
Here.
Trustee Blackstock?
Here.
Trustee Richley?
Here.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The agenda, we have a couple items to add. C2 is consent agenda. You guys passed out here a minute ago. And then new business 3, add for discussion of the sign that we talked about up front a while ago. With that, I entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I support.
Mr. Ridgely,
I'm sorry, I support.
Ms. Babel, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, minutes from last meeting. Have a chance to look those over, if so.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved by Mr. Ridgely, support by Mr. Blackstock. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, presentations, guest speakers. I don't think we have any tonight. Public comment?
Anybody that would like to go up to the podium?
Yep.
Please
Yep,
state
yep.
your name and address.
Podium so they can hear you on the TV there. And
Hello, I am Mary Luongo, and I live at 5441 Point. And I just wanted to ask about township, the possibility of township reimbursing some water costs for the number of times we've had to run our taps for 10 to 15 minutes. I believe my neighbors have said this is the 5th time that we've had to boil water, and we totally get emergencies, we totally get that it's 40 years old, blah, blah. But we all do have to run our taps for 10 to 15 minutes. And so I would like to introduce the idea of some kind of reimbursement for our water usage.
okay. Yeah, I can make a comment to that. We discussed that at one of our last meetings with the contractor and everything else. Unfortunately, we're finding services that have been abandoned previously, and then they do a new service. So the old services are still hooked up to the main. We don't even know they're there anymore.
No,
They hit them and they rip them out of the main, and that just
Yep,
creates
no,
a
we
problem for
totally get
everybody.
that. But
So I apologize for all of those, and I know it's a huge inconvenience for everybody, us included, but we discussed something like that, and so that's gonna be on our next topic for the asset meeting for you.
Okay, very good.
Okay? But if you would, everyone that's here tonight to discuss something like that, just leave your name and number with us if you would, please.
Okay, we're
Yeah,
on
the
the,
sign-in sheet would be
we're on the
great.
sign-in sheet,
Yeah,
yes.
so we can get back to you directly too.
Also, one other question, I don't want to,
No, you're okay.
this meeting wasn't on the calendar? There was nothing on the calendar as far as I could see? We're new to the area.
I don't
so-
know if she puts it on the township calendar, but we publish the board meeting dates on our website and in the newspaper.
Okay, maybe we could get one calendar so that we could,
But that's why I was late. I didn't know we had. the
Right.
meeting. She had to call
I'll
me. I'm
mention
just about
that
a
to
corner.
the township
I'm with you on that
manager.
one.
Oh, God.
Now we see why you
Yeah,
gotta be.
yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate you coming and talking about that, though, because we've been wrestling with it too, and it's no fun for any of us. Our DPW has to get out there, all the overtime, all the crap, it's just, it's not
we
fun.
get it, but
Yep.
we are personally bearing a cost that the town.
And it's a huge inconvenience to you too, and I get
I
it,
mean,
so.
I can
so,
deal with that.
yeah.
I'm more of a financial person,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I appreciate it, thanks for coming on that, and it has been already talked about, so, yeah, leave your name, number, address, we'd love to get back with you on that.
More to come on that? Okay. Anyone else?
Anything else?
Like to-
If I can reach the podium up here. I'm Connie Vanderveen, I'm at 5435 Point Drive. I'm just curious about the proposed schedule, how much longer this is going to go on. Do we know when the completion will be? It seems, and also, I have two things. I just would like to know when can we expect this to be finished? And where we're not all torn up with mud and inconvenience and everything. And is there some way that we can receive some communication about what to expect, time-wise and so forth? I mean, I understand it's a big project, and I understand it has to be done. And of course, the fact that they have to tear up the apron on everyone's driveway. And my particular driveway is so bad, there's a huge big rut in it, it's not level, it's the worst on the street. You know, are they going to go back and smooth those out and correct those before? I mean, I understand they can't pour concrete now, but I just feel like there hasn't been enough communication to us concerning this whole project, about that we should have been informed that perhaps there might be some water interruption. This is our timeline, this is our goal. This is what you can expect to be happening during this process. There's been no communication to us at all. And I just feel like it would have been a good thing to do for the citizens. Is it on Point Drive particularly? That's the only street, of course, that I'm majorly concerned about. But that's all. And going forward, is there anything you can do about that?
Yeah, we could try to get, our DPW is supposed to be kind of keeping in touch with you guys out there a little bit, and this has dragged on, unfortunately, a little longer than we wanted to in the season because of these problems we keep hitting services and mains. We had the meeting last week on it, though. They expect to be fully complete within 4 weeks of the main and services changed over. And then that just leaves the restoration.
4 weeks?
You're right on the concrete. I doubt they're gonna get that in this year
Well, and-
anymore.
and
Just,
that-
the weather's not
I-
gonna give us a big enough window for
Right.
that. But they definitely will wanna maintain those driveways all winter for you to make sure they're decent.
So you're saying you feel like 4 weeks they'll be finished with it?
What we talked about last week, yeah, we need about a month left to finish. They have to tie the piece that goes under that canal. So the pipe's already there, they just have to connect to both ends, and there's a bore at M29 out there at, where it meets M29. And they fully expect to be done with all of that, including the service tie-ins, within 4 weeks. So by the end of the month, they said.
So
But
my suggestion.
you know what can happen? We can get a snowstorm and we could shut down for 10 days too, you know. That's
Yeah,
no fun.
well, and, you know, a reasonable person, resident, myself, my neighbors, we understand that. But, and communicating to what your goal is and what you expect to do is good, doesn't necessarily mean we're gonna hold your feet to the fire. It just would be nice to know what we could and should expect. And are they going to go back and reassess these driveways and correct the ones that are really bad? Because once we get some snow and
Right.
my snowplow
Right.
people come, I mean, it's gonna be really bad the way that they've left mine.
Yeah, we have a meeting
particular.
Thursday with the DPW and the contractor again, and the engineer, so I will definitely address those issues with you. And if the timeline's gonna change significantly, we can get something in your mailbox or at your door to let you know how it's looking.
What about even putting maybe a weekly little update on our website? People
Yeah.
could go on and check, maybe at the end of each week,
Yeah.
put a little update and say, okay, because like you say, we run into snafus, it delays, and
Yeah, and we have one more section of this project for that contractor, and it's valves up at the north end, which does pertain to you people that live down there, but it's still part of our township that we have to try to coordinate. We're working harder on getting a better schedule for those. They have to replace like 40 valves. So we're trying to group them together to down certain spots at a time. It's a real hassle. Unfortunately, most of these valves don't work, so it involves shutting it down and then boil water until we get it safe again. It really, lack of a better word, sucks. We can't do much more about it than that. But once these new valves are in place, we should be able to backfeed anybody in the township by a different way and not have to deal with that anymore. But most of the valves that we have in the township are failed, so we're doing that.
So-
But we can do both. We can do the website is a good idea. But I'll have the DPW, they just print off like the board water notices. We can just update you guys on the fact that they're running behind or something like that. And definitely the driveways. We'll make sure that they're good for the winter and they'll maintain them. And the DPW will do that.
And I have one other thing I actually have been struggling with whether I should bring it up or not, but, you know, there's a lot of, Point Drive, people walk. I walk twice a day with my dog. And I have to say that that heavy machinery that hauls the sand, the gravel, the dirt, that have to go up and down Point Drive because they bring it from somewhere else and they have to move it. And I understand that that has to be done. But there's one driver, and I know them all because I see them all. And
There's
one
always
guy
the
stops.
one. How come there's
one-
always just the one, you know?
one
more than
guy
one,
always
probably.
stops and talks to me about my dog and whatever. They go so fast that it's scary.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's very irresponsible.
Is it a Piper's Act truck or a?
With the
Different.
big machinery
It's
that,
a loader.
that has the front
Yeah, it's
loader.
probably the
The
unloader.
front loader that
Well, we
hauls
should say
the
something
gravel
then.
and the sand.
I can address that for you in the morning.
Yeah, and they go very fast.
That's definitely something. we want.
There's
No, we
two
don't.
drivers. One's good. The other one is,
Well, unfortunately, they're probably both gonna have to hear it in the morning, though.
well, that's okay. And that's okay.
That's what it takes.
But, I mean, it is, I mean, I have to really pay attention.
I get it. There's no sidewalks down there and everything else. I
Yeah.
understand. It's a tight area, so well, I'll definitely bring that up to them in the morning.
Okay.
I meet them almost every other morning just to make sure they're trying to get our job done for us, so,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
I'll get my coffee first, though, so maybe I'll be in a little bit better mood when I get it.
Vern,
I understand.
would there be any possibility of putting it in the comments at the end of each meeting that we have, the progress and what's happening?
Yeah, and I've been kind of updating you guys
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
meetings too,
yeah.
but
So
I
maybe,
try to
you
cover
know.
it when we have significant things. But we, absolutely, we'll make sure
Yeah.
you get communication on it. But they're hoping by the end of the year to have all that stuff tied up. Restoration and driveways, they'll clean them up best they can till spring, you know? And that means we'll add gravel as needed, but I'm sure you don't want it and I wouldn't want it, them pouring concrete in December on your driveway, because you know what that's gonna look like in a year or two. So we're gonna wait for that. But absolutely, I understand your concerns, and thanks for being patient, because we have had a lot of construction going on down there, so, thank you.
My name's Larry Boyer. I live at 5357 Point Drive. And I guess I'm not in the same, I guess we're all together here, talking, beating a dead dog here. But kind of today, kind of did it for me. I've been in this mess over there since May because they did the sewers in front of my house, and I had a manhole in front of my house. And so this summer has been shot, you might well say. But I understand, and I haven't complained. I'm not a complainer, but today kind of did it. Taking a shower, all lathered up and ready to shave, and the water goes off.
Oh, my gosh.
So you're running around with a little bottle trying to get, so you can get out of the shower and that. So that, I had to come over to Dollar General and buy some water. So I thought, well, I'm going to stop at the Township Hall and just come in here and find out what's going on. So I came in here and I said to the lady that was there, I said, I'm kind of upset. Don't take it personally. I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to cuss. I want to try to, but can you tell me why the water is shut off? And she said, well, there's an accident or water main break. And I says, isn't it possible that we could have at least got 5 or 10 minutes before they shut the thing down just to get a little water? Because these people know what it is to be without water, and to shut it off immediately, I mean, that's tough.
It is,
But-
especially in the shower with soap in your hair.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but anyway, that's not my complaint. I say the people that are doing the job out there, I wouldn't do it because it rains every other day.
You've had a tough year.
I mean, these people have been pretty dang good under the conditions they're working, and I'm not complaining one bit because I wouldn't do it if I was 21 years old. I wouldn't want to be out there. So I'm not complaining about the workers. I'm complaining about the lady in the office at the way I was treated. I didn't like She works for me. I pay her wages. And when I come in here, I was trying to be as gentleman as I could be, and I expect her to be the same. And when I walked out of here, I was madder then than when I have been shut down for 5 times. And I couldn't even use my toilet but when I came in here and I was treated that way, I said, I'm coming to the meeting and I'm not bitching, I'm complaining about her.
Okay. I understand it. And if you would, leave your name and number, we can follow up with you tomorrow on that. I would like to.
No, I'm not gonna do that because I'm just here to tell you that I'm unhappy with the way I was treated. And I think, I don't know how the other people have been, but I was very upset.
Yeah, well, thank you for telling us that. We'll check into that too.
Thank you.
We apologize.
Yeah,
Sorry.
okay. Thank you, everyone. Anybody else have any other comments? Again, we'll get back with you on all of that stuff. We want to make it through this as painlessly as possible. Hopefully, we can get to the end of this quicker than we all assumed.
It's already bad enough, right?
Yeah.
Approaching winter.
I'm with you all, to be honest with you. I've had enough too. It's been, since they've started,
Long.
my phone does not stop ringing all day long, and I got other, this isn't our full-time job anyways, but it's been really trying for me too, and I get it, and I'm sorry. And, it'd be nice to be through it and done with it though, so. So we'll keep pushing forward, and thanks for understanding. Okay, moving on, consent agenda, C1 departmental reports, and the C2 that we added was just the rate increases per the contracts for I believe it's for people with licenses, but.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Okay, been moved by Clerk Matei,
Support.
support by Mr. Richley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Disbursements, Ms. Hart.
We have disbursements payroll, $34,226.58. Accounts payable, $500,885.70. Tax disbursements, $21,057.53. And invoices, $17,691.66, for a grand total of $573,861.47. I'll make a motion to pay the bills in that amount.
Moved by Ms. Hart,
Babel.
support by Babel. Clerk, please call.
Roll call vote, Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Thank you. Unfinished old business, I have none. New business, pay increase for election inspectors, supervisors, and the deputy clerk. Sandy, you want
Yes. Previous to this meeting, we had our election commission meeting to establish pay increases for our inspectors to $14 per hour. Election supervisor is a separate, over and above the 3 inspectors that will be required for the 9 days of early voting, at $15 an hour, and the deputy clerk for election work at $15 an hour. The state is proposing to reimburse us up to the $15 per hour. So that's kind of where we're coming in with those figures, but we need to update our rates. They're very similar to St. Clair, what they pay their inspectors. I will say that we will have 9 days of early voting in February, August, and November. So it's a new requirement of the new election law that passed. So we will be open the 9 days prior, starting February 17th through Sunday, February 25th, from 7 a.m. until 3 p.m. So if anyone,
basically, this all gets reimbursed by the state, right?
yes.
The laptop and everything you need.
Right,
Yeah.
they're providing us with new laptops, new tabulators, new handicap voting device,
Well, not much of a choice.
whole
is there?
9 yards.
So is that a motion to approve?
I'll make that a motion.
Been moved by clerk, is there support?
Support.
By treasurer? All those in favor say aye.
Roll call vote. Roll
And
call,
then
because of the money. Supervisor Westrick?
Yes.
Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, new business 2. This is something we've been working on, worked with both of our attorneys, labor attorney and our general counsel. Looked in the previous, way back when's, who did what and everything else, and it's kind of just evolved over time. But essentially, everything's been expired since then. We're gonna do, this is gonna be our oversight and administrative policy for East Chinatown Parks and Recreation employees. I'll go ahead and read this, just so we have it on the official record, I guess. But it's basically just a policy and administration. We already have the budget separated. Employees who perform the work necessary to operate, maintain, and improve the parks within East China Township are under the oversight and direction of the East China Township manager. This includes oversight of maintenance, improvements, and special projects of and for East China Township parks and places of recreation. Employees who direct, coordinate, and oversee recreation programming for the East China Township Park are under the oversight and direction of the East China Township manager. All aspects of employer responsibilities for employees working in and for the East China Township Parks and Recreation System lie within East China Township, including but not limited to payroll, human resources, benefit administration, job descriptions, and employee training, professional development, employee discipline, wages, and promotion. East China Township Parks and East China Parks Commission will collaborate to ensure financial and fiscal requirements, project priorities, staffing levels, revenue generating opportunities, and general operations are managed to the satisfaction of the East China Township Board and East China Township Parks Commission. East China Township Parks Commission shall have office space within the East China Township Hall to conduct business, and East China Township will provide the needed equipment and supplies to do so. East China Township will determine and provide parks and recreation employees the space, equipment, and tools needed to perform their jobs. Employee administrative costs for parks and recreation employees will be contained within the East China Township 101 General Fund, of which the Township Manager has oversight responsibility. The costs associated with park maintenance, improvements, special projects will be contained within the 208 Park Maintenance Fund, of which the Parks Commission has oversight and responsibility. Let's further clarify how everything's going to work. It's kind of evolved, like I said. The park manager actually used to report to the township supervisor like 12 years ago, and for whatever reason the supervisor didn't want that. Then it got to the DPW person and ran that for a while. Then it went to the Parks Commission too, but by definition both attorneys agreed that all the employees are actually employees of the township already because they're paid by us. It's our EIN number and everything else. So now that we have a township manager, it just makes sense that those people are also under that direction. They serve to the Park Commission Board as well as our board, just like they do now for us. The manager executes our wishes as they will the Parks Commission's wishes for what they want to do in the future. But the day-to-day stuff like that goes to the township manager like it should.
So does this take the place of the shared services agreement that we originally started with?
There is no shared services agreement. It was
Right,
never
that's-
executed.
Right, but I mean,
This
it's
basically is it.
gone by the wayside and this is
Yeah,
in its place.
yeah, and if we need to clarify this further, that's fine, we can, but there, after talking to the councils, there's no
Right.
reason for that, because there
Right,
really isn't.
if
I
we're
mean, it's-
taking it
Township
over,
employees
then
anyway.
there's no
they
shared
work at the
services.
whim of what the Parks Commission wants to do,
Right.
when they decide when the park's gonna be open. We don't, so they will execute all that stuff, but
Right,
the day-to-day operations, payroll, everything becomes part of the township manager's responsibility to make sure that's done. I mean, their background
it
checks,
should.
yeah, all that stuff.
Right.
Time sheets, make sure that their time's punched in and out, that's now her responsibility,
right,
so.
Good.
So basically, that's what we have. If there's not any questions or comments, I make a motion to approve this Parks and Recreation Employee Administrative Oversight Policy.
Support.
Okay, comments or questions? Okay, if not in favor, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. New business 3 was added.
We have that here.
Ms. Hart, yeah, this is regarding our sign up front we talked about here, I don't know, a couple meetings ago about doing. We reached out to the people that had responded, and we have that one that's kind of responded back to us, so we can go ahead and go over that. Some ideas to go over, so Nicole, if you want to introduce Philip.
Rebecca's here from Phillips Sign and Lighting to explain the proposal that she sent and answer any questions.
I was trying to make the whole meeting without my glasses.
Well, you've seen it already, so.
I have.
These are like in the back of that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
These are color ones. Let me start with Herb down there. Herb, take a look and pass it this way. Just so everybody gets a chance to see it colored. So this is our
I did it
opportunity
color.
to basically, oh, okay, you did the color, great.
I did color.
This is our opportunity to make comments, changes, you can suggest whatever you want, but, whoever has what input on it is great,
It's not big enough.
yeah, that's got the logo.
So my name's Rebecca Godin, and I'm with Phillips Sign and Lighting. Do I have to say my address?
No.
Okay. So, that's basically, the
Send your
sign
fax bill.
there, two different ops for you. And if you flip the papers up, it shows the details underneath of the sizes, so you have a little bit more info on the detail there. Do you want me to just start with like going over the description, or did you want to ask questions? I know there was questions about the
Briefly, description of
construction.
what we're gonna
Yeah, you
get,
can go
what the
over.
size, you know, I mean, just
Right.
options that we have, you know, if.
Sure. Do you want me to
something
read
we
through the
might
whole
wanna do,
contract?
Whatever you think, you know.
Okay.
Just highlight. Yeah.
Okay, so if you look on your artwork in the upper corner, it'll say what item number you are, and that coincides to the contract so that you can kind of follow along with that. They're basically two of the same sign, it's just one has a little bit more visual interest than the other one. So if you look at item number 1, it's basically our standard construction, which would be aluminum construction and polycarbonate faces. It's internally illuminated, so on your artwork, you'll see the day view and the night view, so you'll see what lights. And it incorporates an electronic message center as well.
Is that along the bottom of the sign, the message sign?
Yep, so what you see, the American flag, that section right there is
Oh,
the
okay.
electronic message center. And I gave you 2 different options. I know, I'll show you guys these back. You guys can show, pass these around. These are the 2 different ways. that the
LED
signs
board.
come. Yes. So
Pixel
this
size.
this is a 16 millimeter and this is a 10 millimeter. They're both the same, like all the colors are inside those dials. But basically, it's just like a digital picture, so when you bring the lights closer together, it's gonna be a sharper image for you.
Which one's sharper, the 10?
The 10 is. That's more for if you wanted to use do photos, and you can get a lot more copy on them because everything's kind of squished together more. So I'll explain that in a little bit as I go through this. But I just wanted you to see it, like the weight of it, you know, the different diodes. There's red, green, and blue in there, and you get 1.8 quadrillion colors. So the top section's made from 063 aluminum and internally illuminated with white LEDs. And then the electronic display area is 41 by 9'3", if you see the red measurements on there.
The display of the electronic part?
The message center part.
How
yes.
big is it?
41 inches by 9'3".
3.5 by 9.
And what's that, Herb?
3.5 by 9.
Yeah.
Yep.
9 feet seems huge,
Yeah.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
It should be
Marine
very
City.
similar
Guys,
to
I
the
think we
Marine
need that.
City Library message unit out there.
Okay, it's similar to
size.
that?
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Okay, that just seems really big, 9 feet.
On
Okay.
that display, you can get
When you
6
get out the road,
lines.
it's not, though.
You can do 6 lines of 4-inch copy or a combination up to 1 line of 32-inch copy. So you can like mix and match the copy that you can put on the message unit. Does that make sense?
I like the elevation of the item number 3 with the top, how that has more detail.
Yep, yep, and I can explain that. It's just like architectural
This-
detail for you.
Yeah.
But I feel like with us putting the logo there, we're shortening the screen space, and that's like the main function that we wanna,
Yes, yes, it does take away
Yeah,
from
you
that.
want, yeah, I want, this is better for the,
I think so too, but I like the top part on this item 3.
Yeah.
This-
And we could incorporate that
You could put
on
that
there
on the other
also
side,
still,
yeah.
if you wanted
Okay.
to.
All right.
Yeah, we could mix and match those designs if you'd like. But going back to the display information on the unit, on the item number 1, you can get, it basically gives you red, green, and blue, but you get 1.8 quadrillion colors with it. So you can do all kinds of shades, a waving American flag, things like that. And it comes with a whole bunch of stock images for you as well. We also include 3 hours of training for you with either of the units so that we would train 2 or 3 of your employees how to use it, update the software. The nice thing about it, I'm not sure if you're familiar with how this works, but it's similar to like a playlist where if you have your messages already allocated, you can just, you know, it's really easy to log in and upload it at any time. And it also has, it's a cellular modem, so a long time ago when message centers first came out, they were all radio frequency, and there was a lot of issues with anything from people unplugging it, or mice chewing it, or someone moving it. And so they've eliminated it now, and it's cellular modem, so your sign would basically have a phone number, and that's how it would communicate with your computer. But going on, the rest of the sign, I mean, the biggest portion of the sign is the message center part. And then if you, the other piece that I gave you, the 10 millimeter, if you wanted to upgrade to that, the price for upgrading to that is also on that contract. If you chose to go to the
go to what?
tighter
The
pixels.
sharper
To the-
image.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's an option. I just gave that to you on both of them because I like you to see what else is out there.
Do you notice the difference that much?
It's in the note, I didn't know if you wanted me to say it out loud, but it's in the note section.
Yeah, do you notice the difference that much between those two?
You do, and I could actually have a truck come out if you wanted to. When you're ready to, we could have a truck come out and show you the difference of what that looks like.
Or there's someplace I can go see that, maybe?
Yep, I also have a database where I could email it to you, and it gives you all the addresses for all the units that we've done and what millimeter they are, so that you can see them running out in
Right.
the field.
Like if the Marine City Library has, like what, you wonder what pixel they have.
Yeah.
We could compare that.
This is an open meeting, right?
Yes.
So why can't you say it out loud in front of us?
It's good.
Okay.
I just didn't know if I was allowed
It's
to.
$6,000 more for that
Yeah.
10 millimeter, whatever thing. Yep.
But like, are you guys familiar with Vincent Joe's out in Shelby Township by chance? Like, that's a 10 millimeter unit. So if you ever shop out there, that's one of ours, and that's a 10 millimeter unit.
And
But I can email both of you guys the database, so you have the addresses and what millimeters they are. I know Marine City Library is 16 millimeter. So,
16, okay. And we can control the speed that it goes
Yeah.
yes,
across?
yes.
You can control all kinds of things like
1.2 quintillion,
1.8
quintillion?
quadrillion.
it has like
Okay.
a schedule. You
T in
can
there.
I don't even
do,
know how to
like, a
quantify
playlist
that,
of
but
different schedules.
Okay.
You could have it like flash on the screen. You can put marquees like going around it.
the nice thing is
Yeah.
that say someone, whoever's in charge is going away on vacation for a week, you can actually say that I want this to come on at 8 a.m., this one at noon, this one to run for 5 days straight. You
Yep.
can set it all up and, all just like that, so nobody has to worry about it.
Yep.
Awesome. And then what kind of warranty comes with it?
If you look underneath the
Taillight.
pricing, so
For this kind of money? I'm hoping it's a long
for
one.
underneath, underneath there, you can read it. We have 5, I'll just read it through the whole thing. Some of it's gonna be irrelevant to you, but, we have 5 years on workmanship and construction, 1 year on lighting and electrical components. The warranty excludes items like, MDO, banners, acts of God, and vandalism. We're a UL listed company. We charge for the permits, for procurement of them, filling out the paperwork, doing the necessary footing drawings. You are responsible for the landlord approval, final electrical hookup, installation based on normal conditions. Additional costs may be incurred if problems are encountered during excavation, like a footing being buried in the ground. We assume no responsibility for your sprinkler damage. I'm sorry? Or water line, yes, sprinkler damage.
Disruptions drive.
You guys have probably heard that, right?
Shampoo in the hair can't rinse out, Larry, right?
We assume no responsibility for your landscaping damage. If clean artwork's not provided, will generate additional cost. Engineered seal drawings, if required, would be additional cost. We take precautionary steps for your parking lot surfaces. I don't know if you want me to go through all these, but price
No,
bonus.
that's right, we get
I
it.
just
Okay,
wanted
I
the
mean, some of
basic.
it's just like, we can use your pictures for our
I'll just point
advertising.
out that basically, the only thing additional that I can see that we're gonna need to do is get power out there. We're gonna have to have a contractor provide power, we'll bore it out too.
That's what I was gonna
Right.
say,
The only one that they
Yeah.
don't really include other than some small
And do we
stuff.
have to provide the foundation, or they do that?
They do that.
we would do that, yeah. One thing, if you are gonna have electricians look into it, they could sometimes pull it from your parking lot lights.
Well, I'll look into that. You probably want at least a 20 amp circuit, because it doesn't take much power.
Right,
but,
20
we can
amp.
need data,
Yeah.
communication cable probably out there too, right? Or is it wireless?
Nope, it's cellular,
It's what?
cellular,
Oh, cellular,
Yep.
but wireless basically, yeah.
Yeah,
wireless, yeah.
but it has a unit
I,
on the sign.
Yeah, I
Comes
already
with it.
talked to our
Yeah.
DPW about getting that out there, so. Pardon me? The sign's about 48,000. If we go with the higher one, it's another 6, so 54. The board already adopted that we're gonna use ARPA funds for this, which is the COVID rescue money that we have left to use, so we figured it's been good, since it's geared along the same lines as that, notifications of that and stuff, with COVID, it's hard to get notifications out, we thought it's a good idea, and that's something we could put out on the sign for you guys, hey,
Yeah.
we're all looking to get wrapped up by December 31st, you know, I mean,
It's meant to be a communication
it's
tool.
Right.
basically, we don't do newsletters anymore, which I don't know why, but we don't. It's something that people can see better what's going on here, you know, and what's upcoming events and just everything. It's, I think, at first I was like, huh, how much? She brought
We
it up,
all
but-
were sticker shock, because we priced them out years ago, and it
Yeah.
was like 13,000, the board said, that's too
But you
much.
surprised how much a mailing costs us,
Yeah.
think about it, you know, so.
And this information could be immediate too.
Yeah, there's an emergency, you
Right.
can post it immediately, so. Yeah, I mean, that answers your question hopefully, but. Any other questions for Rebecca, you guys? If we wanna go forward with this, maybe we can approve an amount that maybe
Not to exceed.
the three of us can get together on the final, or I can bring it back to board too, whatever you want it to do, but we can decide exactly what the small details are to be. You wanna look at that? We can go and compare the pixels and all that stuff somewhere,
Right?
unless the whole board wants to make a road trip.
You're welcome to come to our facility too. That's always fun.
Right,
Field
that's what I'm
trip.
saying, we can try to pick a
Oh,
time and
Harrison,
get whoever to come
Yes.
along with us, but I mean,
Right.
if you don't wanna, I mean, the small stuff we can try to take care of, you know. It's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Herb, got an opinion? Alan, anybody?
I,
We're gonna utilize it to save money and time, that's fine.
Yeah,
It's a big investment.
it
I
is.
don't think we need the big sign. I think those are a little obnoxious personally.
Yeah, you mean the
The
better-
larger
yeah.
9-foot by 3.5
I know,
foot
9 foot
sign.
is way bigger than I imagined.
well, no,
visions here.
that's just the display size, I think the sign itself is the same size, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking the display.
Yeah,
The issue I have with those signs is that they're usually way too bright. And every time I've driven by one on the road, they're
Like right
blinding.
here. This one's
This is
blinding.
nothing, I'm talking.
that's nothing
ones-
compared to some of them, I
I'm
know.
talking
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
Some of them near the expressways
They'll
that
blind you.
Yeah.
they shouldn't even be there.
Really?
I think, well, the cost is negligible, it's, less than $800 difference between the two, so that's not the issue. I think more that, like Herb's saying, if the size is too big, too bright. Can you turn that velocity of the lights down? I mean,
You can, yep, yes, but sometimes there's an actual, a photo cell that's on some of those, and there could be some ambient lights that's affecting the photo cell,
And
so
making
it's
it
not
lighter,
adjusting
yeah.
the right way. So that's what we've found in some of them out in the field, is
but we
there's some
can control
ambient light
the
that's
intensity of
affecting.
it?
I'm sorry?
You can control the intensity of the light?
There's ways that you can, yes.
And you can also
It's supposed to
program
auto dim, but there's also ways that you can control.
Okay.
You can program it to be blank, like,
It also
during-
has a lot to do with the background.
yeah, hours of the night.
Yeah, like you can, there are
Yeah,
some cities that
people-
make you put a darker
Well, you can,
background
like,
at
shut
night,
it off.
or they shut
As
it
long as
off
we're
at
gonna
10 o'clock.
utilize it for a purpose and not just to be like everybody else
No.
or to have
No.
a wavy flag on it, so. it looks
No,
pretty.
that.
Well,
No,
that's what I
no,
was
no.
at first, like,
That's the issue I'm
but-
having. Is it a useful tool?
Absolutely.
Right.
Spending
Yes, you can put
$50,000
meeting
on something for the
postings
DPW
and
that's gonna
everything,
be
so we don't
used.
have to spend extra money to, put them in the paper
It's a
too.
great communication tool, and we don't have any anymore.
You can
I mean,
also
that's
make
what
it a
people look at the
stagnant
site,
message
website,
at
you know.
night,
Yes.
you know, with a dark background, so it's not annoying for
Yeah.
people too.
What does it cost at today's rates to run this for a year? Because those funds are going to be used on the sign, but you're increasing your budget ongoing into perpetuity. So what does it cost?
For
I would
electrical.
suspect it's less than one of these lights in here, because it's all
Probably.
LED. It's
I
all
can do
LED.
I can do a,
Yeah, it's all LED.
Cost estimate?
Yeah.
I can.
It's real,
Okay.
real negligible.
Mm-hmm.
The LED signs,
And everything, I mean, what it seems like.
yeah, there's no line. We just contracted for a new internet company to take care of all of our broadband through the RISA, so.
the cell phone bill is actually included for the life of the sign too, so it's not like an additional phone bill. It's included all in this price.
Okay, any other questions, you guys?
Did you want me to maybe do a version for you with that decorative accent on the top? The only thing is, I'm not sure, I think we're maxed out on your height, but,
Yeah.
Oh,
or you can let me know.
We can let you know.
okay, yeah.
We'll
That's to
discuss
be
it and let's see what
discussed.
they wanna do, and if we go forward, we'll maybe put a committee together that, you know, if you guys, Nicole's been involved mostly in it, but we can do that, and then,
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Let me know. Thanks, Sonia. Oh, that's it. You can-
Yep.
Well, anybody have any wishes?
Any what,
You wanna move forward or
at
not?
this point?
A not to exceed number, or?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, if you guys wanna go forward with it, we can finalize it and bring it back, or we can put a not to exceed number on it now, or whatever you wanna do. It's not like we're under a huge timeline, so I don't really care what we do.
This probably wouldn't go until spring anyway, right?
Yeah, there's a deposit that's gotta go down now and stuff, but,
Well, we work all winter, we do footings in winter, but
yeah, what is the delivery on
in
this?
all actuality, it probably would go into, probably this spring. The units take about 6 to 8 weeks to get in.
6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah,
Okay.
the message units themselves, so, obviously you guys are the city, so I'm assuming the permit would go quickly, but usually it's about about 8 to 10 weeks after permit is what we usually.
Your payments are broken into thirds, a down payment and then permits.
Yeah,
Another
just
third, is
so-
that when you issued, when the permit's issued, you mean?
Yeah, just because we like to break that up, because it's a bigger chunk than a normal sign, we like to break them up into 3 payments, so it's not so much for everyone all at once.
We have the bill on
So
it.
usually if it were to sell today, we'd get a third, and then by the time the permits get approved, which are usually three
Just- when you look at it
weeks.
quickly, you're telling me the permits are $17,000. I'm like, we've gotta talk to our.
No, permits are not 17.
No, no, no.
No,
All right, thank you, Rebecca.
you're welcome. Just let me know if you have any other questions.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
now, what do you guys wanna do?
I think it'd be a good idea. I mean, I'll make a motion to go forward with it using the ARPA funds. I don't think we need the super bright.
Well, let's leave it open to what you decide. If it demonstrates to somebody that it's definitely needed, we bring it back and show everybody at the board that we think we need it, you know? But if we don't, we don't. I don't know. I don't know anything about these signs, so. How about we do this? We just go ahead and go with the sign and we bring it back for final in 2 weeks. You wanna do that? That everybody's on the same page for whether we're gonna do that. And if someone wants to fight for the 10mm ones, we can.
I'm fine with that. Bring it
Then we can
back
show it,
into
and then we can also talk about the size of it,
The
Herb.
top.
the details,
The
work
details
out the
at the top
details
and
by
the-
then.
She can give us a demonstration and we can look at it.
That's fine. The size isn't really even my concern.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure it's
The
a
brightness.
useful tool
Right,
that will be utilized and
Exactly.
justify 50,000 times.
yeah.
I know.
I think, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's just go forward with it, as presented, and we'll do the final cost of it
Okay,
at the next meeting.
all right. I'll support then, if that's
So
your
you moved it,
motion.
you moved it.
I'll
but-
motion, okay.
So the motion's to go ahead with the sign and based on the cost presented, we'll finalize the actual physical cost of the whole project at the
We're
next
actually
meeting.
making a motion right now.
Pardon me?
We're actually making a motion right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay,
he is,
so
she is.
you already know my feelings on it, but I'm not against the sign, I'm just against the cost, that's all.
Right.
That's-
Yeah, unfortunately, that's,
Okay, so it's been moved and supported, you said?
How is the motion here? Do you
To
Go
move-
ahead based on costs presented? Are we doing a dollar figure, or, because you're bringing it back in 2 weeks, or a week?
Well, we have the
For
dollar
a
figures in
final?
front of us. We'll go ahead and do the motion to
Not
proceed
to
with the
exceed?
contract with the final cost to be determined at the next meeting. Is that okay with you?
Okay, so we're just,
Approving the contract.
go ahead. You're approving the contract? We can't do a contract unless we have the final details in
Yeah.
place.
Yeah, I would just say the total of $51,104.21 for now.
Or just direct Vern to get more information or something, I don't.
Yeah.
to finalize the cost, not to exceed, what, 55?
It's fine with me. That's your motion. And I'll have the exact figures,
Not to exceed how much?
55. Moved by Ms. Hart, for support.
Support.
Okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Roll call vote, Supervisor Strick?
Yes.
Clerk Smith, yes. Treasurer Hart?
Yes.
Trustee Babel?
Yes.
Trustee Blackstock?
Yes.
Trustee Richley?
No.
Okay, thank you. We'll get together some visuals
Yeah.
so we can get our
Get
eyes
the
on it.
details worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, is there anything on announcements or member comments, anybody?
Not me at this point.
No? All right. Thanks for coming, everyone. We'll be
Thank you.
back with you. We'll make sure we
Apologize
take
for all
that.
the inconvenience. Unforeseen, yeah, it's unfortunate.
There is, I don't know if you know this, I mean, it's no consolation when you're out of water, but there is water at the water plant outside there. People come and jugs up all the time and stuff, but there is some water available there, and it's free to residents, you know, if you need it. Right outside, on the south side of the building, yeah, you can. Yeah, I actually buy water for spraying my fields, you know, because I have a bigger tank, I buy it. But for jugs and whatnot, buckets, you can come there and fill up whatever you want. So just in case you know that during that time. No charge, and that's always on. If the
Not for
water
the
plant's
residents.
closed, the hose bib right there always works. It's our city water, it's free. Yeah, so if anyone, including anyone in the audience on TV, that, you know, there is water available there if you want to take some jugs down. I know it's not ideal, but at least there is some water available, you don't have to go buy it.
It's potable.
Yeah, it's city water, it's our city water, right, directly from the plant, so.
So why do we do that?
Why do we do what?
Why do we provide free water?
Township people only. For free. You go in there and you buy anything over a certain amount. you
Right.
can charge.
Exactly, if you go in with a tank,
Yeah.
Charge.
Any,
In
like
a trailer,
a barrel or anything like that,
pay.
you
No, I
pay,
get
you pay
charged
for it.
If I run my hose for a minute, I get charged, so,
Mhm.
Because that's running through the meter.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying, why do we do that?
It's just a service that we provide for our residents, like for cases like that too.
like
if they're out of
emergency,
water. You know, just gallon jugs
Not
of
really
water, stuff you need
utilized.
it. So,
really that much,
Yeah.
that way. But we do sell water.
all right, if anything else? If not,
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:19.
Mr. Richley,
I support.
Ms. Babel, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, or adjourned, thank you.
Junior, there's gonna be a line.